It is time for our favorite podcast, Cut to the Chase, with, yes, I'm going to say this, my favorite guest, Mike Burns. How are you doing today?
Greg, I'm doing great. Make sure you tell hello and happy Mother's Day to our favorite fan, your mom, as Mother's Day is coming up Sunday.
You're killing me. I mean, you're like taking my script from me. Yes, this is the post Cinco de Mayo podcast. Okay. Mother's Day podcast, post Cinco de Mayo, Mother's Day podcast. And, you know, my mom always said, you got to give your guest a proper introduction, but I know all my listeners here have listened and gotten your proper introduction, and they will see all about you in the show notes when I put your link there. But Mike has been the guy at all the 3M trials. So that's what we're talking about. We're getting the latest, you know, update on the trials. He had one that just finished, one that's starting. So let's let her, I mean, I got all these questions. Bam, bam, bam. This is going to be rapid fire. Last trial verdict, when did it come in?
Just came in last Friday. That was with Jonathan Vaughn, a soldier out of Northern Alabama. Got $2.2 million verdict for him. And one of the great counts that we won in that case gets us attorney's fees and costs. So hopefully Jonathan's going to walk away putting all that $2.2 million in his pocket.
Nice,
so,
nice. I didn't expect that. You know, I love attorney's fees because that makes everybody whole. And we'll go back to that at the end. Next trial. When's the next trial?
Next trial, which is going to be the 19th trial that we're going for. So far, Greg, the total is 12 wins for the plaintiffs, 6 wins for 3M, and $222 million in the plaintiff's pockets right now. But the next trial is James Beal, and that starts on Monday, the 9th of May, and that's in front of one of your judges that you know, Greg, you know her real well, Judge Robin Rosenberg out of West Palm Beach. She was appointed by President Obama in 2014, and she's going to come up and help Judge Rogers try that case in Pensacola starting next Monday. Judge Rogers will sit in for Judge Rosenberg on one day, but Judge Rosenberg will handle that trial starting next Monday, the 9th of May in Pensacola.
And she is the judge presiding over the Zantac.
Exactly.
So I know a lot of lawyers out there, you know, if you're listening, you got, you know, Zantac cases and, you know, about, you know, hey, well, you want to get a feel for this judge or whatever. Here's your first chance to really see how this judge performs or presides over the trial. All right. So out of the 12 wins and the 6 losses, how many cases have gone, how many of these have been appealed? How many
all the cases have been appealed. One of the appeals will be filed on the 1st of June, but everything is scheduled to be appealed. The EHK, the Estes, Hacker, and Kiefer trials, that was the first one that's been appealed, and that's in front of the 11th Circuit. And we may get a decision on that as early as the end of this year on that particular case. And I think that's going to drive things. If we get a good, which I think we will, get a good appeal coming back for us on that, I think that's going to push us in the settlement mode with 3M on these cases. That's what we're hopeful for.
And where is that appeal being handled?
That's being handled out of Atlanta.
All right. So the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals.
Correct. Correct.
All right. So I'm assuming that one, the issues have been laid out by 3M.
They've been laid out by 3M. They've been laid out by us. Michael Saquette handled that for us. Mike is one of the lawyers that's on the trial team for this next upcoming trial with Brian Ailstock, Brad Bradford, and Jen Hoaxford and Dan Thornberry. The AWKO guys, Ailstock, Wick, and Crease, and Overhoops guys are taking the lead, and Mike Saquette is helping out on that case too. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. You go. And
then Kim Branskin, who's with Deckard, is going to be handling that case, and also Jerry Blackwell, who was one of the lawyers in the Derek Chauvin case up in Minnesota, is going to be working with 3M on their defense side in this particular case.
All right. So this appeal, are they factual issues, legal issues, or both?
A little bit of both. On both of these cases. One of the issues will be on the consolidation, and a couple of the issues were on some of Judge Rogers' rulings. But I think we're on solid ground, and I look forward to the appeal coming back. I know our guys did a great job.
All right. So on none of the 12 victories have any of these soldiers been paid?
They haven't got their pay. 3M has had to put the bond up for these particular cases, but the soldiers have not been paid as of yet.
All right. And let me see what else I have here for you today. All right, so now let's go back to what you initially said, which is, you can kind of explain to the audience about attorney's fees. And, a lot of people, they know, oh yeah, 33%, 40%. How does that differ than, the scenario that you're presenting where there really isn't 33, 40%? The attorneys actually get paid separate. Like how did that happen?
That happened because of one of the claims that we proved as to misrepresentation and fraud. In this particular case, under the law that we were under, in this particular case, the injury occurred in Colorado at Fort Carson, Colorado. So by proving those specific counts, counsel's entitled to attorney's fees and costs in that particular case. So just like you said, say it's 33% or 40% if you go to trial. In this particular case, it would have been 40% because we went to trial. We were successful on both of those accounts. So 3M will have to pay the attorney's fees for Jonathan Vaughn's lawyers in this case, and therefore it won't come out of his portion, which is 2.2 million.
So it's going to be 2.2 million plus attorney's fees.
You got to love that.
All right. So I know you do an application and you need an expert for attorney's fees to establish what your hourly rate is and all that. We do a lot of that in Miami. A lot of my cases are attorney's fee issue or whatever. So, if you need to ask me questions on that, or like, Greg, hey, what's the prevailing rate in Miami? I got the numbers for you.
At the inside track. I'll remember that, Greg.
All right. How many more cases are set for trial? If you know.
One. This is the last one. This is the last of the bellwether trials. This is number 19. And then after that, Judge Rogers gave us a little Cinco de Mayo present yesterday. She waived 20,000 cases on the next waive order to get ready for trial. So Judge Rogers has now had two. This would make the third waive order. So she is waiving like 20,000 cases, and we're having to work up more cases, get ready for trial. The next group is just under 500, but then she has two successive groups after that, just over 20,000 in both of those groups. So the 3M docket never sleeps. Doesn't take too many holidays either. Everybody enjoyed Cinco de Mayo, but she sent her Cinco de Mayo order out, and another 20,000 plus cases are going to be getting ready for trial and being filed, moved off the administrative docket and onto the active docket to get things worked up and going.
And is that going to be her active docket, or is she remanding it to all the judges where the cases were originally filed?
It's most likely, Greg, that those cases will go to the district court and where those cases were filed. That's what she's doing right now. You have to set up your venue. You got to file your short form complaint, and then that will pay your filing fee, and then your notice of transition. And then the next thing you know, that will be one of the steps in the process to remand those cases back to the district court.
All right. So theoretically speaking, 3M could have multiple trials. If they don't settle this whole kit and caboodle, there could be they could have multiple trials going on at the same time.
They could. Yes, indeed. And the plaintiffs, and you know it, Greg, we're ready. We're going to be ready.
I know. We're united and we collaborate, which has always been just a joyful thing for me to even see how it unfolded. I never really thought that, I thought that we were, friends, but not friendly, but we're both, we're working together. Hey, you got a secret. I got, yeah. Come on. Let's collaborate for the best interest of our clients, which is what we're supposed to do.
That's
right?
correct.
So that is the thing that, we have to be all aligned in our focus. All right. So that does it for this episode. I mean, was there anything else you want to add? Is there anything else you think the audience needs to know? I know this one thing, we're talking about settlement and they got to go through the appeal. I heard that 3M was like in disbelief that there were this many people, this many soldiers with hearing loss or tinnitus. And then I heard that they were going to try to settle with some law firms, but not other law firms, and playing games like that. But the judge apparently got wind of that, and she's like, absolutely not.
Judge Rogers is, I think, is going to try and drive a global settlement in this case. There should be no difference between somebody who has, 40,000 cases represented by their law firm and one sole practitioner who only has one case. If your injury is ABC, then you should get paid the same, not based upon who you hired as your lawyer. But your injury as it's recognized in this particular case. And I think that's what Judge Rogers wants to ensure, that everybody gets treated the same. These are United States soldiers that went and represented our country, and that's what they deserve.
All right. So if you're a soldier or your spouse, friend is a soldier and they've been like, I hear about this case or whatever, call up Mike Burns. All you got to do is go to my show, look at the show notes, and that's going to be part of the whole podcast. And you'll see a link to him. So you can click that, get his phone number, give him a call. And I'm not kidding you. I would use a curse word, in a benevolent kind of way here. But a lot of attorneys get a bad rap. They don't call their clients back or whatever. They're busy. This guy does. Okay. Mike Burns does. And he calls me back too, which, makes me happy also. All right. That's it, folks, for this episode. Kiss your mother, mommy. I love you. I know you're my best and biggest fan. And I'm your best and biggest fan. And I know there's a lot of other mothers out there, mothers of soldiers or whatever. And, let's enjoy the weekend and stay safe. Mike, you got last word.
Happy Mother's Day to your mom, Greg.
All right, my man. And the best to everybody else. All right, take care, everybody.